Hello.
So, as you might be able to tell, we're in a different environment.
Yeah,
We're in,
slightly different setup if you're watching us on YouTube.
we're in the virtual realm. If you listen to us on Spotify, we're in the virtual realm.
Yeah, we're on Zoom, basically.
Yeah, this is episode. What would this be? I don't know.
Three?
We'll figure it out. Maybe, yeah.
I think episode 3, should we say?
Yeah. First, before we get into this week's episode, I think
Mhm.
we should talk about a film that we have seen this week. I was like, Rebecca, I really need to see this because I went to go and watch it on my own, and I was like, I can't go and watch this film on my own. I need
No.
to have a friend with me.
Mhm.
So I made Rebecca come with me. What film did I force you to watch, Rebecca?
Evil Dead Rise.
I thought it was great. I loved it.
I
It was
did actually, I really enjoyed it. Evil Dead films in general, I find them they're quite gory, I think.
It's gory, but also like cheesy gore. A lot
Cheesy
of them.
gore, yeah. I think the concept is really interesting. I think it's pretty cool. I tried watching, it's technically an Evil Dead film, but it's kind of like a spin-off. You know, the one where he goes back in time.
Yeah.
I didn't really get it, to be honest. I stopped watching halfway through.
I don't think the creators even got it. They made it, and I don't think they even got it. So don't worry.
I liked the first Evil Dead and the second one, but I think to just kind of pop that out, it was a bit of a weird choice. Like there's different ways to kind of play with that universe without doing something like that.
But this new one, I really liked it.
I enjoyed it, yeah, I did. The special effects were fantastic.
Oh my God.
Please give those makeup artists a pay rise.
I think the story was quite simple.
Yeah.
But I think it worked because of how like incredible the effects were and stuff. I think the action and stuff kind of carried it. Everything is fine. I mean, some of it I think was a bit too cliche maybe, but
yeah,
kind of comes with the territory, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I think sometimes with the Evil Dead films, you kind of got to accept that they're cheesy.
Yeah.
And you're going to accept you're not going to see Oscar-winning performances from an Evil Dead film. You're going to see blood, you're going to see guts, and you're going to get a bit of cheese on the side.
We both give the same Letterboxd, didn't we?
I think we did.
Yeah. I think we both give it a 4 stars, which is like, if IMDb or whatever, it's like an 8. I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty fair, observation. I liked how the story kind of went backwards and forwards.
Me too.
I thought that was a really good way of telling the story because it opens at the end, technically, of the story and then goes back to the beginning and then loops back round. I thought that was a really cool way of telling the story, kind of like in a non-linear way. So, comfortable 4 stars from me. What do you think would have made it better?
I think maybe the script and maybe the dialogue wasn't like the best. The reason why we've rated it so high is because the horror and the special effects is so good.
Yeah.
That you can't ignore it and give it like a 7 or something because it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like if you was reading the script, you would go, ah.
Yeah. The dialogue just wasn't where it's at. I think it was kind of lacking in that department. And I guess kind of like the decision making. Mm-hmm. I mean, you kind of go into a horror movie and expect that people are going to be a bit dumb. Mm-hmm. But I think at the same time, you kind of, it shouldn't be that formulaic where you can watch a film and be like, they are going to be a complete idiot. Yeah. It shouldn't be expected. And I get it's tricky to make something new. It's tricky to like come up with something that hasn't been done when there's so many horror films and there's such an oversaturation of like certain themes and stuff like that. I don't know about you, but do you feel like a lot of horror films are coming out at the moment about motherhood?
Yeah, I don't know what that is about. I don't know if that's like the new wave of horror films.
Yeah. Do you find at the moment a lot of films are kind of trying too hard to like have a message? I find particularly with horror films, they'll go for like the abstract, and if you're like, what the fuck is going on? it's like you're an idiot, essentially.
I feel like it's not even just horror films that are doing this, but I feel like too many filmmakers these days are making films to get awards.
Yeah.
And I think that's really sad because just make a good film. Just make a film that you want to make, and that'll probably end up being better than something that like is trying to get like an Oscar or whatever, because that's the issue with studios are only making films now that like they think it's gonna win an award.
Yeah. I know, completely different topic, but I know, have you ever gone into a film and been like, that was created to get an Oscar?
Yes, absolutely.
The first one that I really thought about that with was House of Gucci.
Yes.
I was like, this is just Oscar bait.
Genuinely, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think genuinely that's why A24 is doing so well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really scared that they're going to start now making, because they've become so big.
Pile of doo-doo.
Yeah, I'm really scared that's going to happen. But you can kind of tell that they do love film and they just want to make more like, you know, unique films and things like that.
Yeah.
Because I think this whole thing of like, can you make an original film or blah, blah, blah. But even just having one idea, so many people can think of so many different ideas off of that. So there's ways to like, make things creative, and I think people have just lost that.
Because if I said to you, oh, make a film about two people stuck in a room, you could go in like a rom-com direction and, oh, they've got to share a bed.
It could be like a horror thing. Or,
you could essentially make the next Saw, because that is the plot of the first Saw film. So you could go in so many different directions.
Absolutely.
With one idea. It's just kind of a shame to see the same ideas getting recycled. And I feel that kind of way about, you know, like remakes.
Yeah, I was literally going to say the same thing.
Do you feel like you're just constantly putting the same film in like the washing machine and it comes out wrong?
I just think what I think is so disappointing, and I think this is where the film industry is failing film. I think they're putting so much budget into making these remakes, whereas they should be putting this money into making like new films. There's so many like film students and stuff that are trying to get their break that are probably like the most brilliant people that are just not being discovered, because the industry is just remaking and remaking and remaking.
I feel like you've got, well, I mean, I know he's not dead, but we've got the next Spielberg out there somewhere.
Yeah.
But without being given that time and attention, you're not going to find him or her or them.
I think it's just the hardest time for, I know there is like a few coming through, but I think it's the hardest time for like new filmmakers and stuff to find their voice.
Oh God, yeah. We've gone on a little tangent from Evil Dead Rise to the ethics of filmmaking and authorship.
I'm gonna move on from the subject. Okay, so this week's podcast is an interesting one. What?
I was just laughing at the grin I was making.
So it's an interesting one, and you might go, "How are we going to make this into a film episode?" So let me introduce it, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is technically, it will probably have a different name, but this is technically a Eurovision film episode, which we're going to go, how. The way we're going to do it, we are going to talk about
contest cinema.
Yeah, to try and tie it all together, tie it in a nice bow. Why we're doing this is Rebecca here is obsessed with Eurovision, and I think that's the best way to describe it. She's obsessed, and obviously it is Eurovision week, so we had to make a Eurovision episode.
Oh yeah, 100%. There was no way I was letting you not do a Eurovision episode.
So we might have bits in this episode where we like do like cuts, and we'll have like, we've got an interview coming. We've also got like a little reaction from me of some songs, so there will be little cuts, but we will make it about film. It is not just about music. It will be about film.
Unfortunately, to my sadness, I can't just talk about Eurovision all day.
We'll do a quick, I don't know, like a quick 2 minutes of just why you love Eurovision. What is it about it?
So I have been a fan of Eurovision since the Eurovision Song Contest 2006.
I thought you was going to say since the Eurovision started, and I was like, no, you've not. You're a liar.
No. It's just, what isn't there to love about Eurovision? Like, it's the ultimate celebration of nationality, I think. It's just such a big party. And I kind of compare it a bit to the Olympics or like the World Cup, something like that, because everyone just wants to see their country do well. And it's just such an amazing atmosphere. It is incredibly gay, which I 100% support that. Why do I love Eurovision? I guess it's just because it's always been there. It's always been a part of my life, as much as my parents hate it with like a passion. I can very vividly remember being like 7 years old and watching Lordi win with Hard Rock Hallelujah. And it was just incredible to me because I didn't really understand the fact that, oh, these are people in makeup. Yeah, so it's always been there. And it's always brought a sense of happiness to my life. I'm a big fan of like statistics. I'm a bit of a statistics nerd. So anything that's like, oh, this country got so many points, this country got loads of points, or they got none. I just love anything like that. And I think you just get to understand more about other people's cultures, other people's countries, and it's just a fun time to be had by all.
Yeah.
And there's just so many different types of music that you probably wouldn't have seeked out if it wasn't Eurovision. Like an average person in the UK isn't going to sit there and seek out Ukrainian techno.
Yep.
However, Eurovision, it introduces you to that and you go, oh, holy shit, I'd have never thought to listen to that. Absolutely. So I just think it's amazing the way it introduces people to new things.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts in general.
I feel like I should give my thoughts on Eurovision. So I really like Eurovision. I'm not going to say I'm obsessed like Rebecca. I really like it, and I watch it every year. For me, I think obviously it's great listening to the music and seeing what all the countries are going to bring and stuff. But I think it's kind of like a fun social experiment that I'm watching.
Yeah.
And as you say, I love watching the points go up. That's like the most exciting thing. She's like, yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It is. Like even my dad, who hates Eurovision with a passion, he's like, no, it's everything wrong with the world. Last year, he was glued to the TV during the points because we had a chance at winning.
To be fair, we was close. I couldn't believe how close we were. We smashed it.
Yeah, we did. I am so happy that we came second because can you remember, like, literally, I probably got into Eurovision around 2013, and that wasn't a cool thing to be into. Whereas now, everybody wants to go to Eurovision because it's in the UK. Now, the tables have turned.
Yeah.
How the turntables.
When you think of film that have song contests in, what film do you think of? What's the first one that comes to your mind?
First one that comes to mind is Pitch Perfect.
Interesting. The first that comes to mind is School of Rock. Okay.
Well, that's because you're obsessed with Jack Black.
What? How dare you? Okay. Well, let's start Pitch Perfect then.
Pitch Perfect, I will not hear a bad word about. It is a cinematic masterpiece. I mean, yes, somebody should be going on trial at The Hague for like what they did with the Cup song. Well, did you see that tweet? I don't know if I showed you or not, where it's like, I'm so glad that like the Cup song and TikTok like missed each other like a comet coming towards the earth.
Oh my god, oh my god. It would have been unbearable, yeah. You're 100% right. Oh my god.
It's annoying enough being like 14, 15 years old in music class. Like
or in any class she was in. If anybody could get us like, what's this happening?
But let it be known, I still can't do the Cup song.
Me neither. I don't understand why I can't do it. It looks so simple.
Yeah, it does. I practiced for more time than I would like to admit. But yeah. Which is your favourite Pitch Perfect film? Because for me, it's the second one.
Yeah, I really like the second one.
Pitch Perfect 2 slaps.
Pitch Perfect 2 does slap, but I think the riff off's better in the first one, maybe.
Yeah.
You can't not talk about the riff off because the riff off is so good. You can't not talk about it. Yeah, I think maybe that's better than the first one, but yeah, I agree the second one's better.
Yeah. Who's your favourite Pitch Perfect character?
I who do I like? I like what's the one that was like the head of like the guys' team? What was he? And then he left.
Oh, Christ, now you're asking.
I can't remember. I don't mind him. He's okay. Not in the first one, not in the first one. Not I don't like him in the first one. But eventually he's fine. And I kind of don't mind. Who's the one that gets like nodes or whatever it's called?
Oh, yes, I remember.
No, who does she play?
The one that gets nodes.
The one that gets nodes, yeah.
Well, my personal favourite character is the German guy from the second one.
Of course it bloody is. Of course it bloody is.
He's an icon.
He's an icon. He's
I
so
love
funny.
him.
So funny. I love that that's your favourite character though.
Yeah, he is my favourite character in the whole Pitch Perfect universe. And I'm sorry, but
Go on.
you know, when they go to Denmark
Yeah.
they do the performance. I'm sorry, what the fuck was going on with Flashlight? That was not a good song.
But that's because that was during the time that Jessie J took over the world.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it wasn't the world, but it felt like the world because she was fucking everywhere. So I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Overload of Jessie J.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but whatever the fuck the German team did was great. And they should have won.
Do you know what, actually? I think even the first one, though, the guys were really good in the first one.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of the times it's kind of like, do these girls deserve... And this is really controversial. Do these girls deserve to win?
No.
Maybe not. Maybe not. No,
What do you think about Fat Amy?
I just think I hate. They still do it, but they try to be better with it. I hate how Hollywood does like the fat friend or like, do you know what I mean? I hate how that, like, they can't have somebody who's like plus size that's just fucking a normal person.
It's like they've kind of got to be fat and their only personality trait is being fat. I hate, you know, like when they're like, oh, this is so revolutionary. And it is literally just a plus size woman existing. I think it would be more exciting and more revolutionary if the whole plot wasn't she is fat.
Yeah.
Give me an and. So yeah, I try not to think about Fat Amy.
Yeah, it's hard not to think about it sometimes. So what do we think? Do we think for a song contest thing, do you think it's good or not?
Well, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Because the second one kind of is Eurovision vibes because it's people from like all over the world competing.
That's
like
true.
aren't Pentatonics in it?
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah. Couldn't fucking escape them. So it is kind of like Eurovision vibes.
Yeah.
I think if it was a real contest, I would be like complaining on Twitter still and being like, robbed.
Robbed, not right. Or it'd be like 10 years later, you'd be like, do you remember this that happened?
Yeah, the Bella should not have won.
But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. My issue with it's very predictable.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of film. It's fine. Like it's a good film. It's a good film. It's an enjoyable film. So, School of Rock.
School of Rock. Yay.
Okay, I love Jack Black. And I think School of Rock started that. At one time, because I obviously collect DVDs, I have loads. I've got rid of loads, but I still have loads. I had like 4 DVDs of School of Rock. Why? I don't know why I had 4 DVDs of School of Rock. But I had 4 DVDs of School of Rock because I had to have them in every single house I went to because I was obsessed with the film. So I just ended up having a lot of versions of School of Rock.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking great. It's a great film.
I mean, that just kind of sounds like, you know, the Meghan Markle poem where she's like, 2 houses, 2 phones, 4 copies of School of Rock.
But yeah, I don't know. I think, first of all, it was like, it's a rock film, so I love that. But I just think it's such a cool concept. Like, all these kids are like performing against adults and they're like killing it. As I said, like with Pitch Perfect, where it's kind of obvious that they're going to win, I love in School of Rock that they don't win. They actually was robbed, though. No,
Yeah.
seriously, robbed because they was the best there. But I kind of like the fact that they didn't win.
Mhm.
You're not always going to win in life, and I kind of like that. I think it's a great, great film. And it might not be 5 stars to everyone, but I would not change anything about that film.
Mhm.
It's quotable, it's funny, it's everything I need in a film. The last song is great, it's got some great covers in it. I love it.
It is a quality film. I haven't watched it for like absolutely ages.
I thought you were just going to say I haven't watched it. I was like,
Haven't watched it at all.
get on that and rewatch it.
Mm. Yeah. Are you gonna have it at gunpoint to watch School of Rock?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Maybe.
It's so good. I think you kind of like I think it's one of them films like Joe films you watch if you're having a bad day. That's School of Rock is my version of that. Definitely.
Yeah. I just really need to rewatch it because I've not rewatched it in ages.
You definitely should.
I was probably about 8 the last time I watched it.
Wow, you really need to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah. It's just so great. I think a lot of the time maybe child actors aren't, I mean, there's a whole thing about child actors anyway, so that's a whole other story. But the child actors in that actually seem like they're actually having a good time and stuff. That shows a lot in it. And I think the fact that when they did the reunion, they all came back and they're all like, yay, blah, 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 like, so happy about it. There's just few in the cast that, like, there was a death in the cast.
There was what?
Yeah, I swear the drummer died. And there's also that one who was like playing the guitar. Remember this? He got arrested like a couple of years ago for stealing a guitar from a shop. And I was like, oh my god. I shouldn't say this is iconic, but this is iconic.
Yeah, it is kind of icon behaviour. So we're kind of breaking this episode into a few little pieces. Yes. So this was filmed probably a week or so before it goes up. So hello from the past.
Hello.
As we've established, I'm a huge fucking fan of Eurovision. I love it so much.
No way.
No
what
way.
What are you talking about?
No, hate the thing. So I thought it'd be fun.
Yes.
Because I've heard all the songs.
Yes.
Natalie hasn't.
I struggle. Sometimes I want to go into Eurovision blind.
Yeah.
To like get the full experience. But sometimes, a few songs here and there I'll listen to. Okay.
So I picked 5 songs that we're gonna listen to. And we'll also go through like a video of like a snippet of all the entries. Yes. Just so we can get a good idea.
And so we don't get copyrighted. We'll cut some bits out of me listening to the whole song just so we don't get copyrighted.
Yeah. I am gonna show you Norway. So Norway's song, you might have actually heard it because it's gone viral on TikTok. So her name is Alessandra and the song is called Queen of Kings.
Okay. Is that fan? I'm so confused. What is that? Lights?
Lights.
Oh, it looks like a fan. Cool. I have heard this one. You're right. This is the most TikTok song that I've ever fucking heard in my life. Yeah, I slept too on it. Jesus Christ.
Craziest thing is she's a couple of years younger than us.
We've done nothing with our life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm going to say about it?
What?
I really like the song. I hate the staging. It's really... Personally, I think that's bad. I think that's really bad.
Okay.
There's too much fucking lights going on. I'm a bit like... It's a bit jarring. And she's not really doing much on the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think the stage is a bit too distracting. I think
it
should kind of like... They should be able to go together and like merge together, but that kind of was a bit
jarring.
Oh my god, yeah. Because she started singing and I was like, oh, this is lovely now. I was like, but she's hardly lit. And then it was like, loads of lights, loads of...
Yeah.
Like, it's like they went, how much is the light budget? Fuck it, let's use them all. No. I don't like the staging. The song though, I like. It is very TikTok. It reminds me a bit of like the there are ones that are saying
that one.
It's kind of that, but then with a bit of a beat to it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So do keep in mind that staging can change. There's still time. she might come out and she might be like on a throne or something like that.
That's so cool.
So how do you think she'll do?
I think it'll do very well.
And you've got to think the TikTok vote as well.
Yeah.
Like Sam Ryder last year was huge on
I
one.
think she'll at least come top 3.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to say she's going to win.
I'm going to be a bit specific. I'm going to say she's going to come 4th.
Yeah, I was thinking 4th, but I thought, you know what, she could top 3.
Yeah. So how many points would you give Alessandra?
Wait, okay. If I give her these points, can I not give these points to anybody else?
Well,
are we doing it like proper?
well, maybe we'll wait till the end to do that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give her a solid, you know. It's not 10.
Not 10.
Not 10.
6.
Yeah, 6 is. Maybe she deserves more than that, but
8.
Yeah, I guess an 8. I guess an 8.
8 points for Alessandra. Okay. So I'm going to show you the one that I was talking to you about with the outfit that I have planned.
Love it.
So it is Austria's entry. It's by Taya and Selena. The song is called Who the Hell is Edgar?
Okay. Do you really like these then?
Oh my god, you're such a good writer.
She looks really familiar. This is iconic. I love. Please say that wasn't like you just chose to do that dance. So we do not know what the stage is like. I'm very interested about the staging.
Who the hell is Edgar?
I mean, it's so Eurovision.
Yes, isn't it?
I love it.
Did you get the hidden meaning about it?
What?
So it's a critique of Spotify.
Oh.
And it's about the money that an artist makes from like putting their music on streaming.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be 0.003 like of $1.
Oh.
So each stream you get, that's the amount of money that you get. And it's about how you can have the most talent in the world, but it's still not going to pay your bills.
Yeah.
I just think it's fucking genius.
No, it is. I don't think it's a win.
No, but it's
a
so
really
good.
song.
It's
a really
so
good song.
How many points would you give Taya and Selena?
See, I think I preferred that to the first one, but the first one makes more sense in like it's probably like more
likely to win.
Yeah.
Personally,
I would probably give this one 8 points.
Okay.
Maybe we'll say 8. We'll say 8. Maybe 10. I really liked it. Yeah, no, that's what I'll go with.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a familiar face for you.
Woo!
So, do you remember Loreen?
Yeah.
Euphoria?
Yeah.
Well, she's representing Sweden again this
cool.
year. So, she's representing Sweden with her song Tattoo.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I think I've heard this one.
What do you think? So, this is the staging for it.
Oh.
She looks like a little panini. Does she not look like a little panini?
I was thinking like a little alien like coming out of like a thing, but now you've said that. Wow.
She's the panini.
She's the
press.
I mean, yeah, it was really good.
It's Loreen.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant, isn't it?
How do you feel about it compared to Euphoria? Because that's the big debate that's happening at the moment.
I mean, I really like it. They feel very different.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you do have to take into account they're like 11 years apart.
That's what I mean. She's like grown as an artist.
There's a lot of growth.
And I think the music's very different now than maybe it was then. So I think, I think it's really good. You ruined the staging for me a bit. I'm not gonna fucking lie.
Because I called her a panini.
Yeah. Because I was like, this is quite cool stage, and it's very like, because it was very alien vibe.
And then here's me
Panini press.
calling her a panini press.
It feels very much like one that could win, to be honest.
Yeah.
It feels very like...
It feels like a Eurovision winner.
Yeah, like... because there's certain things that I think go into it, like
Mhm.
obviously the song is very important, but the stage and blah blah, the presence,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's quite catchy.
Oh gosh, yeah, 100%.
Because I've heard that before, and I already kind of was like knew some of the lyrics because I was like,
yeah, vibing
So-
with it.
I think it's very it's a very strong one,
Mhm.
very strong from them. Solid like 10 points.
10 points.
I don't want to give anybody 12.
Mhm.
Until
Okay.
I've seen every single act, I don't want to give anybody 12.
Mhm. Well, the next act I'm going to show you. Do you want to see the music video or do you want to see the live performance?
Which should I say?
Well,
No,
whichever you like.
going.
They're kind of similar vibes.
Okay. Maybe this stage then.
The live performance. So this is Finland.
Okay.
His name.
It's Jeremy. Call back there.
Yes. I'm not 100% sure how you pronounce it.
Okay,
I
that's cool.
think it's Karia.
Like that's what. How are you?
I think.
Okay. That's
But his song is called Cha Cha Cha.
Oh. Why was that camera on the wall? Why? I can't wait to see what they're acknowledging for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
You have no idea what you just watched.
Kinda loved it though.
It was iconic.
It was a moment.
You can see why I've been dying to show you that.
I don't understand what was going on at all. I don't think they understand what was going on.
I don't understand what was going on.
But I don't think the artist understands what was going on. I loved the colour palette.
Mm-hmm.
It's Eurovision.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's what we need.
Yeah. If you can't do that at Eurovision, when can you do it?
That's so true. Because it'd be so boring, Eurovision, if it was all just like these like ballads and
Ballads, yeah.
which we're fine to have one or two in there.
Mhm.
That's there's more than one or two. But you know what I mean?
A lot more.
We need these like fucking batshit numbers.
Yeah.
'Cause what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It's great though.
So how many points are you giving Finland?
Would be nice, like a 6 or something.
So they're actually second in the odds.
No, they're not.
They're behind Sweden. As of today, which is the 24th of April, they've given Finland a 17% winning chance.
That's craziness. How high is it in your? Yeah, go on. Go on.
It's first.
No, it's not.
It's my favourite.
Crazy. It's not that it's bad. I just think there's some songs that are better.
You heard that Nicki Minaj meme where it's like, you're not going to get the song the first time you hear it. The second time you hear it, you're going to be like, whoa, what is that? Third time you hear it, you're going to love it. That is that with Cha Cha Cha.
No, but I don't dislike it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's gonna win.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be a contender. But I think it's important to show you
Okay.
anyways,
Okay.
just so you can kind of get a vibe for some of the songs in the contest.
Yeah.
So this is Czechia's
Yeah.
entry. They're a group called Vesna,
Yeah.
and the song is called My Sister's Crown.
Okay.
So for context,
There's a lot of royal theme going on this Eurovision, isn't there?
Yeah.
What's going on?
so for context, put subtitles on.
Whoa. That was really good. That's really good. That'd be a shame if they don't even get to the final.
Yeah, I don't know because I've not seen the live performance.
Yeah.
I've heard like mixed things on
that's
it
such a shame then.
because I think it's really important like that you have a song that is
political.
obviously about the invasion of Ukraine
Yeah.
and the treatment of women in Ukraine.
Yeah.
I think it is important, and I would love for a song like that to be in the final.
Yeah.
But I just really fucking hope it's staged right.
Yeah. And I think it is one of them ones, I don't know if everybody will get it.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can even do it in different contexts, which is a really good song.
Yeah.
Like, it reflects so many different situations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the way women are treated all over the world, and like,
Yeah.
men are kind of going, well, we want to do this, and then women kind of just go, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So I think, I really hope it does, because it is really, it's important that we have them sort of songs in the final.
Yeah.
Personally, I think, because I know more people watch the final maybe than the semi-finals and blah, blah, blah. But I think it's important that we can make these statements, because where else are you going to make them?
Yeah, literally. Oh, how many points would you give Czech Republic?
It's so hard, because you've got to compare things in like Eurovision world, but as a song I think it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But I think in Eurovision,
Well, just from your taste.
maybe like an 8.
Mm-hmm. Around there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll show you the United Kingdom's
I've
entry.
not seen it.
The UK, they are being represented by Mae Muller.
Yeah, I've seen who it is. I've just not listened to the song.
Do you know where you might know Mae Muller from?
Yeah, she's in Oh, talk to you. The last time we
talked,
talked,
Mr. Smith, you reduced me to tears.
I
But I promise you, it won't happen again.
Yeah, she's in that, isn't she?
Which, don't you think it's crazy, because Mika hosted Eurovision last year. Her song is called I Wrote a Song.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. I think without the little bit where she's like obviously very, very British in it.
Yeah.
I think if you wouldn't know that was a UK entry, I think it would sound like another country's entry.
Yeah.
Maybe what's good about what the UK are doing now, I think the UK for so long was following old Eurovision rules.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they was like, hey, this is a good song, blah, 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 but they wasn't really following the Eurovision format.
Yeah.
Which is very, like, different. And I think because last year we did so well, I think they're like, okay, we need a fucking good song. And I actually do think that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be, I don't know how high up it is in the
odds? Do you want me to check?
But I don't see, do you know what? I don't see us coming last with that.
We're 9th.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't see us coming last with it. I think it's good. It doesn't feel like a UK song though, which is crazy.
I think we don't have to come top 3 every year.
No.
I think that would be like
because then it doesn't,
unsustainable thing.
Well, then it doesn't work if it's the same countries always getting like the top and stuff. Then it like, what the fuck's the point?
Yeah. So I think just fucking have fun, and that is a fun song.
Yeah, I'd prefer for us not to be last.
Yeah. And to be honest, with the state of some of the songs, I don't think we're gonna be last.
No, but I think it's a good song. It's a good contender.
So how many points would you give May?
6.
6 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel that's fair.
So tell me more about whatever the fuck happened with the School of Rock cast. Is anyone up to anything iconic?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously, Miranda Cosgrove is doing the iCarly reboot.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the cast, I don't think so. What is completely not at all what the cast is doing. I was watching The Sopranos the other day. You're going to go, what is this all about? Oh, but in The Sopranos, one of the kids from School of Rock was in it. And I was like,
oh my God.
Worlds collide. And I was a little bit too excited about it, is what I would say.
Yeah. It is quite exciting.
I'm such like a nerd for things like that. I'm like, oh my God, I've seen them before. What are they?
I don't know about you, but do you end up like on people's IMDb pages, like scrolling through for hours and being like, what do I know you from?
You know what I really want to do? And somebody's probably going to say, this is already an app. And you're probably going to tell me it's already an app. And I would have no clue how to do this.
Okay.
What I think would be an amazing app is, you know, when you're watching something, if you could scan somebody's face and it like tells you what the name is and tells you what they've been in as well.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Kind of like Shazam.
AI.
Kind of like Shazam, but for celebrities.
Shazam a celeb.
Yeah, Shalazam.
Shazam.
That's exactly what it is. I think it'd be great. It'd be so good.
I feel like there needs to be a better name for it than Shalabam.
No, I like Shalabam.
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 Okay. So yeah, I think School of Rock, brilliant film. I think if anybody has not watched it since it was 8, please rewatch it.
No direct there.
Could be anybody. Could be anybody.
Anybody. Could be my mum.
Could be. If she's not watched it since she was 8, I'm curious how that works.
Yeah, I am too, now that I've said that.
So what other films? I know of
Cins.
Oh god. Sing. The first time I watched it, I was on holiday somewhere and I watched it on the plane. Like with my nephew, because he had it on his iPad. And I was like, oh, what's that? And I just didn't stop watching. So obviously I think it's good anyway. I mean, it's a kid's film. I think it's enjoyable.
I mean, you already know my thoughts on Illumination. I think they are the worst thing to ever exist. Apologies to anybody who works for Illumination. But basically what I'm trying to say is your art is a pile of shite. Like, it is just not good at all. They create awful movies for babies.
Yeah.
Sing, I don't know, I don't care for it.
I kind of like it. I like it.
Like, I don't feel like there's heart in it.
The thing is, though, I always try and think of these films as from a kid's perspective, because obviously they made for kids. That's their audience. And I think as a kid's film, it's fine. I think there's some parts of it I really like. I really liked I forgot the character's name. Johnny.
Is he a gorilla?
Yeah. I like his story with his dad. That was quite good.
Yeah.
Nice story. The rest of the stories were a bit, she was quite cute. The elephant was cute. The elephant was cute. She was alright.
I will not be commenting on the elephant.
But Johnny, I like Johnny's story. I think they should have just made that all into a film. I would have been more interested. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think if they were going to focus on anyone, they should have focused on him.
Yeah.
And also, I have to ask, what on earth was the issue with the gecko lady whose eye kept falling out? Seek medical attention, please.
I think I forgot his name. That's terrible. The Family guy.
Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah, his voice was very surprising.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very surprising vocal performance.
Yeah.
I mean, now we obviously know he can sing like that, but at the time, surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Not really much to say about it, is there?
It is a film that exists.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch the sequel. Do I think it needs a sequel? Probably not.
I've not seen the sequel, and to be honest, I don't plan on.
Yeah, I went to the cinema to watch it, I can't lie. But, well, we love animated films from my point of view, so I always try and watch them. But, yeah. I don't think it was needed, but the first one I think is fine. I think it's an alright film. It's watchable.
Do you think it should have been standalone then?
Yeah, this is what I've said about putting money into films that don't need to be made. You don't need to put money into that film again. It's been made. To be fair, I completely get why they make. I don't mind Minions films. I know that's very controversial. I know. I'm not saying they will work about, but I understand why they're made. I get it. They make so much money. I understand it.
I would drop kick that little TikTok if I got the chance.
Oh, no. I completely understand that as well. I'm not disagreeing with that. But what I'm saying, so I get it. I get why they keep making the films. They make so much money off Minions and Minion merchandise. Why would you stop making them? To be fair, they
make money off mums on Facebook posting a little Minion photo, and it's like, press like if you love God, ignore if Satan.
Yeah, they make me want to die. But Minion films are okay. They're okay. I know we're not talking about that, but they're okay. I can understand why. At least I understand that, and I understand why they're making them. I
didn't mind The Rise of Gru. I will say that.
I really didn't mind The Rise of Gru. I really didn't mind it. I think we should do one more film and then we should...
Okay. What is another film?
Interesting you ask. Camp Rock.
Camp Rock.
Remember how obsessed I was with Camp Rock?
Yeah.
At my dad's house, my bedding was Camp Rock, my pajamas were Camp Rock, like my picture on the wall were Camp Rock. I loved Camp Rock.
Was Joe your favourite Jonas brother? Because he was mine.
No.
Who was your favourite? Nick. Which is the one with diabetes? Nick. Do you remember? Because I genuinely thought this. I remember thinking that Nick Jonas was gonna like keel over and die at like any second.
Yeah, they did not explain that well. I was like, oh my god, that means he's gonna die.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought type 2 diabetes was the same as cancer.
Is he type 1 or type 2?
Like 2? Which one's the one that you could just get and the one that you're born with?
I think type 1 you can just get. Type 1 is the one you're born with.
Yeah, it's type 2. So because he wasn't born with it, he just got it.
Okay.
But the way they did not do the campaigning for that
I remember I had a Stardoll account randomly, and you could have like a little profile on there, and I posted diabetes awareness Nick Jonas thing, being like, Nick Jonas is gonna die soon. And I'm like, no, like, why did I think it was like a death sentence?
Because that's how they described it. It wasn't powerful. Way.
Do you remember as well, completely different topic, do you remember Send It On?
Yes.
So it was the Jonas Brothers, Miley, Demi and Selena, wasn't it?
Yes.
I want to know what the tea was, like genuinely.
Yeah.
Because you remember when Miley Cyrus dropped 7 Things? Did she like rip up the photo of her and Nick?
Oh, it was 100% about Nick. It was about Nick. 100%.
I mean, it slaps, but
oh yeah, it still slaps now. Yeah, that's such a weird time as well because obviously then Joe then also dated Taylor.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the performance of Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus performing 15 together? And then fucking dipping.
I love it. I love it.
Very iconic.
But yeah, the Jonas Brothers during that time was so huge. And I mean, it's crazy because they're still like huge now. I think they kind of went, I don't want to say dipped because they didn't dip. A little bit. But they didn't like dip like they was just completely like out of circuit. But now they're like huge again. And it's kind of like, it kind of warms my little like, my little childhood heart. Because I love the Brothers. I mean, yeah, I just love them. I mean, now my favourite is Kevin because I'm a grown up now. But yeah, I think it was good. But we should probably talk about the film instead of just
we probably should talk about the film rather than 2000s Disney drama. So Camp Rock, do you know which song slapped? And I think I still know all the words to it. Introducing Me.
It's on my playlist now. I still listen to that song. I love that song. Remember Hasta la vista, I don't want to say goodbye to you. Remember on the trampolines?
Oh yes. I don't
even
fully remember the song, but I remember them being on the trampoline.
I've not seen that film in maybe like, I don't know, a couple of years. I remember pretty much everything about that film. Like the end song, This Is Me. I'm sorry, it slaps. I'm gonna say it slaps. It slaps.
Good. Do you think it's better than Breaking Free?
That's so controversial. That is such a Me too, but we can't say that. We surely can't say that.
Oh, of course you can.
Oh,
stir up a bit of controversy right now. So
I think High School Musical as like a trilogy overall has better songs.
Yeah,
but This Is Me is a better song than Breaking Free.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, great film. I think so anyway. Maybe it's not aged the best. We've not seen it in a couple of years, so we can't really tell you. But I'd still rewatch it, and some of the songs slap. Slap. Is the acting the best in it?
No.
But happily rewatch. Happy rewatch. Okay. So I think now we should see our interview.
So I'm joined by a very special guest here. This is my friend Alistair.
Hey guys.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I like movies. I do also well, you'll know because we've met through the Eurovision Song Contest. I'm a huge fan. And hopefully we'll be meeting each other for the first time in Liverpool next week. So that's very exciting.
I just think you're great, to be honest.
Oh, thank you.
So you do a lot of work for the Euro jury, don't you?
Yes.
How would
Yes.
you explain the Euro jury to someone who doesn't really know that much about the Eurovision fan base?
Yeah, I was asked this yesterday, and it's actually very hard to cram into just a few words. But yeah, so the Euro jury I essentially is like an exit poll created by fans as to what we could expect in the Eurovision Song Contest. So we this year we signed up about 125 jury members to take part, where they give their top 10, and then that replicates the jury results of the contest, and then we have an online poll as well. So that hopefully replicates some kind of idea of what the televote is going to think. And then we put it all together, and then Twitter goes wild and trolls come out, and and then there's a winner. So
And we still come back every single year. So how long have you been a Eurovision fan? Have you got like a favorite Eurovision memory?
oh, I would have to say my favorite memory was 2014 because I had just turned 18. And my mum wrote in her birthday card to me to say that she'd managed somehow to get 2 tickets for the final. So yes, we went to Copenhagen together for the weekend. She let me take the weekend off of revision, and we went to go and watch the final together on lovely Eurovision Island and watch Conchita win. And yeah, we'd said at the time it was going to be a once in a lifetime thing, and I've been 8 times since. So
So on that note, have you got like a favorite contest, do you think, that you've been to?
like anyone that I've ever spoken to will say nothing will be your first time.
Mhm.
Stockholm in 2016 came very close, as did Lisbon. But I think I do have to say, in terms of the contest itself, I would still have to say Copenhagen 2014.
I mean, it is a classic. I think it was my first proper Eurovision in the fandom, so it's got a special place in my heart too.
Felt like the first time as well that like kind of the fans created a winner, because like Conchita wasn't really like anything, and then all of a sudden the fans got behind Conchita. I remember at the start there was even talk of her not even qualifying, and then at the very end it was like, oh no, she literally has to win, there's no other option.
I honestly agree. I am attending my first Eurovision next week, so
Oh, exciting.
I am so excited for it. And what better place than Liverpool? So what makes Eurovision special for you?
I think it's just the way that it brings people together without wanting to use every single slogan that we've had in the last 10 years. I feel like it's just it gives you genres that you would never find anywhere else. Like no other TV show is giving you Slovenian yodeling and Italian rock. Like there's nothing out there like that. And then you find artists, and through that you find new friends. And it's literally what you start thinking it's one night a year suddenly becomes a whole year's worth of content and meetups and everything in between. It's like I can't rate Eurovision enough, to be honest.
I know for myself how many friends I've made through Eurovision. When I got into Eurovision, it wasn't like the cool thing to be into.
When I was at school, it was like I was known as the weird kid that liked Eurovision. There was no getting around it.
So honestly, it's just nice that it's kind of come full circle. And next week we get to be the cool kids.
Suddenly we're the cool kids, aren't we? We're suddenly now everyone wants our help getting tickets because they think we're fans. We're like big in the circles, and they think we'll get tickets for the final for them with ease. And it doesn't work that way. It's too popular now.
Okay, so how did you feel when the Eurovision movie was first announced? Did you feel excited for it, or were you like, oh Jesus Christ, what on earth are they going to do?
Hey, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, okay. When I heard it was Will Ferrell like at the wheel, just panic and fear and dread. My heart went pitter patter. It was awful. Like I was so scared about what this film would become.
Yeah, I think I was the exact same. I was like, oh, cool, Eurovision movie. Will Ferrell. I'm scared.
It's not two concepts that you ever think would be in the same sentence, is there? Like Will Ferrell, Buddy the Elf, and the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah.
Like
So did that feeling you had of Jesus Christ, it's Will Ferrell, did that feeling change after you watched it?
I think so. It felt like a good mashup of the two. Like I'm gonna call Will Ferrell a brand because you know exactly what you're getting. You really, really shouldn't take it too seriously. I felt like it was a really good homage to the contest, but also it was kind of fun to see it basically ripped apart, but with love, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. It was kind of like, okay, well, you really don't have to take this film seriously, but also you don't really need to take the Eurovision Song Contest too seriously. So as long as you can accept that
Mm.
and you understand what you're ripping apart, I would say it's absolutely fine. You can enjoy it, whether you're a fan or not.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I know I kind of went into it and I was like, oh God, this is going to be like, haha, look at these bloody weirdos. But no, I feel like it came from a place of love. Like, sure, they got some things wrong, but I think we weren't really the target audience for it. It was made for a general audience to introduce them to the concept of Eurovision. So they turn on the TV in May and they go, oh, there's the contest that that film was about. Do you feel like it needed to be accurate?
I don't think so. I feel like it was more important as a project that it worked as a movie rather than complete accuracy. Like when I watched it back yesterday, I was kind of like, okay, there's an awful lot of things in this film that don't actually happen in the Eurovision Song Contest, like the jury points being revealed in the middle of the semi-final and all the graphics that didn't quite move properly. Like suddenly Serbia moves to the top of the board, but it covers Greece. Now there's two Serbias and no Greece. But I actually quite like that because then, like, if you're that way inclined and you have to be one of those people that go, "This is inaccurate. This is inaccurate." You've got you've got that thing to grab hold of and just say to your mates, by the way, when you actually watch this contest, it's all very secret. You don't see these points come being revealed until after the show. So yeah, I quite like it. It's a good balance.
So on that note, what seemed like the most realistic to you and like the least realistic? We've kind of touched on some things that don't happen at all, but what do you think is like the peak of that?
The concept that you party every night at Eurovision, that's 100% accurate. I will give them credit for that. Also, the amount of rehearsals and things that you see within the film, well, you and I both know, having followed the contest, it's true. It's very much.
I think that was the big thing I took away. I was like, well, someone's obviously been and done the research.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Will Ferrell literally went to, I think it was Tel Aviv. I feel like he went there with a press pass and just with a clipboard and just made rigorous notes as to how this kind of production is put together.
I was having this conversation with Nat before, but what did you think about the songs? Like,
I like them. I genuinely like some of them. Not all of them, but there's some like what's the Double Trouble song. Every time I hear that, I go, I know that song somewhere down the line has actually been attempted. There's songs like Husavik that like even the Oscar like nominated it as best song of the year. Who thought that would happen in a funny little song about a European contest like produced by Will Ferrell?
I love some of the songs. I think they are genuinely good songs. However, some of them feel like you talk about 40 Eurovision songs, put them in a blender. Do you think that the film was accurate, or do you think it was just kind of its own thing and didn't really need to be?
I don't think it had to be to the letter. I didn't want to feel like I was watching the Eurovision Song Contest through this film. I wanted all the storyline. I wanted the bits and pieces in between. So I think they had good accuracy, but also they knew that they needed to build this upon a funny story. So
yeah. So coming back to this year's contest, what are your thoughts
yes,
overall?
it's a really interesting mix of songs. It's like I don't think it's the strongest year. That might be a controversial thing to say, but there's songs that I know are going to become classics in the fandom, and they're going to stick with us for years to come. So I'm just really hoping that like everything gets elevated on the stage. I think it'll be a really good show.
So speaking of this year's contest, have you got a top?
Mm-hmm. Top three.
Hmm.
Am I allowed to say?
If you'd like to.
Yeah, that face says yes.
Hmm.
I don't have them like ready to go because I do still I like to listen to them individually and not necessarily rank them in my head all the time. But off the top of my head, and I know this is so boring to say, but I have to say my number one is Sweden. Because sometimes you just need the perfect polish. You need something that is just so sturdy and reliable, and you can't get any more reliable than Loreen. Like she's already won this thing. She's good to go. I don't know who else I'd put. That's the problem. She's just so far ahead of the pack that actually everyone else doesn't quite seem worthy. This is also awful to say, but I would say the United Kingdom has got to be second or third. And that is not just because that's where we're from. That is one of the songs I would genuinely listen to outside of the contest. And then I would have to say either maybe Finland, but also Norway, and also just to throw an interesting one in the mix, I would say Azerbaijan. I really I know that's something I'm like scared to admit in this fandom, but I was genuinely like, I really like this. This feels like for the first time in forever, Azerbaijan have taken something from the heart instead of just picking up what Sweden left behind. So maybe I'm giving it too much credit because I feel like it's much more authentic than what they usually go for. But in terms of which songs do I actually keep going back to, that is one of them. And also Ireland. I don't know if that's something I should admit either.
I think it's nice sometimes I mean, it's stressful, but it's nice to just kind of have a year where your favorite is one that may or may not make it to the final. I know I've had a couple of years like that where I've just been like over the moon that my favorite has got through to the final. And I think that is just the greatest feeling, to be honest. Yeah. So speaking of tops, just to close this off, what are your top 3 favorite movies?
Oh my word. I really should have thought that maybe on a movie podcast I would get asked this question. I would have to say number 1 would be Titanic. Because it's just a solid choice. Number 2, I feel like I have to just say what comes to my head. I would say School of Rock is so up there as well.
But it's such a shame that Natalie isn't here because that is one of her favourite movies. She is obsessed with it. The episode hasn't gone out yet, of course, but we literally have a section where we talk about School of Rock.
I will make sure that I listen to that because I quote that on the daily. And I would have to say another one that is really springing to mind is Encanto, actually. So I'm gonna say Encanto for the soundtrack and the animation. I love it.
For like a good 6 months, I just kind of listen to that on my walk to work every morning.
I used to there was a colleague I worked with when that movie first came out on Disney Plus. It was I told her about it, and by the end of I think I hadn't seen her for 2 weeks, and she said, "Oh, I watched it," and then I watched it again, and then I watched it again, and I've watched it 11 times since I've seen you.
Oh my God!
There's got to be something in it where people just keep going back to it. I think it's got to be the music.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Where can our listeners find you?
You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Lister, or you can, of course, find both of us, in fact, on is it at Eurovois? I don't even know our
at Europe.
Twitter handles, but yeah, it'll be at Eurovois and on
Yeah.
Instagram as well.
And you can probably also find us in the Euro Club next week.
Oh, of course, every night
Yeah.
until 4 a.m.
Amazing. So thank you so much for joining us.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
I think it's going to be a good year for Eurovision.
Yeah. Who's getting your douze points?
I don't know. You can't ask me that yet. I don't know. I actually don't know. I refuse to answer. When you see the live performances, everything changes.
Definitely, yeah. Well, without having seen anything from the live show, which one's your favourite?
I really like the Edgar Allan Poe, that one. That was good.
Yeah. Austria.
Yeah, why couldn't I think it was Russia? I think we're not going to do bad, to be honest.
I can see us coming top 10.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, easily.
I think currently my favourite is Finland.
Yeah, fair. Oh, I was going to say, yeah, Finland, of course, are going to do well.
Yeah.
I
feel like they'll do very well in the televote.
Yeah.
I very much like Loreen. I like Sweden's song. I think it's really good. Is it as good as Euphoria? Probably not. But as a standalone song, yes, it is very good and capable of winning, I think. I feel like top 3 with the televote, I'm going to say is going to be Finland, Sweden, and Austria.
Wow, okay.
Potentially Norway instead of Austria.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, so that is the end of the episode.
If you would like to subscribe, comment, give us 5 stars. We've got links down in the description of all sorts of things.
Yep.
And you'll tell us happy about Eurovision on our next podcast.
Yes.
Or whenever.
Yeah, you will be able to tell.
Okay.
All right.
Well, goodbye then.
Bye.